Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Sad Sadek here, bringing you another exclusive interview with for PakPassion. Gentleman today is a very humble man. I must say that first and foremost. He's the owner, team director, and chief operating officer of a very successful franchise, a worldwide franchise now, not just the Pakistan Super League. I'm going to say humble because he'll probably say to me, "Okay, why are you saying this?" But he's the brains and the energy behind Lahore Qalandars. He's brought a lot of success to the Qalandars franchise, implemented some wonderful ideas and innovations which other franchises around the world have seen and enjoyed the success and then followed suit. And I'm speaking about the one and only Sameen Rana. Sameen bhai, hope you're well.
Ajbhai, thank you so much for such a nice introduction and thanks for your kind words.
Well, Sameen bhai, 3 wins out of 4 tournaments. What's the secret?
Um, I think first and foremost, the prayers of the fans, then the players, and third is I think lucky. Uh, Sometimes you need luck in cricket, so I felt that in these three trophies. Uh, I think the lot of lot of prayers were actually for us, and because of those prayers, the luck was with us. And obviously, it's hard work and effort of the players.
8 team tournament now, the Pakistan Super League, and its 11th edition. So it's grown. A couple of new franchises, and obviously the Multan Sultans franchise sort of restarted almost as well. So, I mean, how does that add to the competition? Obviously, it makes it a little bit tougher to get the players, and two very noisy new teams as well. They've got a lot to say for themselves.
I think it's first of all, it's a congratulations to the new owners. Practically, it's three because of the Pindis and Multan. Multan is also a new ownership and Hyderabad. So I think it's exciting time for PSL. Obviously, the league is growing, so the numbers are quite astonishing. Nobody expected it, but hats off to PCB for making it happen. And I think that's a clear indication, and that is exactly the opposite of some of the narrative which people were trying to build few months ago, that PSL is all doom and gloom. It done and dusted. It's not even the fourth rated league in the world. This is below than this and that. So all that narrative has been, I think, properly killed with the success of the three new owners, and also the record breaking deals which we are doing in terms of whether it's broadcasting, is international broadcasting, ground branding, all those sponsorships. So I think a lot of credit must be given to Pakistan cricket boards, particularly Mohsin Naqvi and Salman Nasir and his entire team. So I think for me, it is very exciting that we're going to have now. We started 10 years ago when nobody was ready to even believe in this product. I remember there was like five team and five and a half bidders. One of the bidder was actually sitting on the fence, though that's why it's half bidder. And even within the PCB, many people were of the opinion that this league will never happen. Even till today, I see few of the guys, trying to create doubt about the success of the league. I think they will never agree. So let's not waste time on making them agree. But for me, it's a proud moment that we have played our little part in the growth of the league. So the success we have got in terms of the commercial and in terms of the attraction which we got globally, I think Lahore Qalandar has played their part in bringing the league to that stage.
Looking at your squad for this tournament, Sameen bhai, how happy are you with the recruitment?
See, I'm very satisfied with the recruitment. I think it was a new experience for me and for the team. And we tried to do our best, and the results were even actually better than what we expected. So from that point of view, I'm very, very satisfied and happy that we target certain players, we target certain combination, and we were able to attain those. And I think that is a success. Now, That's one part of the equation. The second is once the team goes into the ground, the fitness, the form, all those things will matter. But at this stage, at the auction stage, I think my expectation was lesser than what I got.
I guess as an owner, there's pros and cons of the auction and the draft system. Obviously, the auction was implemented for the first time this time around. How do you find that process? Was it more difficult than the draft?
Personally, I feel that it was a bit challenging, particularly never done this before. And secondly, I think in draft, you can relax a little bit. You can plan things ahead and can be pretty sure that you will certainly sure that 90% you will achieve your objective. In auction, however, you can't be certain unless and until the auction is finished, because you don't know what sequence the player gonna come. You don't know how each team is gonna price their players. So there are a lot of uncertainty, and on the auction table you have to make a lot of decision making. Although you have a plan, you do all your planning, but in terms of you have scenarios where at the spot you have to be quick on your feet to make certain decisions. And I think from that regard, I learned a lot, and I think hopefully the result, the auction success will be reflected in the field as well.
I guess the fact that there's 8 teams also going for all the same players makes it a little bit harder as well.
Yeah, of course, because previously it was 6 teams draft system, so you can pretty much count that what turn is mine and how many players can go. I remember initially when I used to do draft, so even if my sixth pick, so I'll go with like, okay, these are the 5 players maximum can go. This sixth one, or out of these 6, I will get one at least. But in auction, you can't do that because you never know that these 6 will go with somebody else. So that is why you have to be a little smart, little clear. And I think if you ask me one key learning, I think for a successful auction, you need to be very clear in your mind that what you want to do. A doubt will actually hurt you on an auction table.
So of the players that you wanted, without going into obviously all your secrets and all your plans, so I mean, like, would you say that you got about 50% of the players you wanted, or a little bit more?
To be very honest, I mean, touch wood, I will say this with a lot of humbleness and gratitude and thanks to Allah. We were able to achieve more than 90%.
That's fantastic. Loyalty is a word that is very well known within the Qalandars franchise. And you stick with the players who do well with you, who are loyal to you as well as players, and bring you success. And you've done that this time around. You know, Shaheen, Haris Rauf, Fakhar Zaman, Sikandar Raza, Abdullah, Shafique are just some of the names that you've kept hold of once again. How important is that for you guys?
Yeah, no, obviously, you have to do walk the talk. Saying is easy, doing is sometimes challenging and difficult. And I think our resolve of calling ourselves a family, believing in our player, the loyalty factor you mentioned was truly tested this time around. And I'm very thankful and glad that we were able to come up to the mark. And we not, because the reason for that is we believe in this. I don't say these things. I just actually genuinely believe in that. Right or wrong, I don't know, but this is the believability. So I have this belief of looking after my players, trying to create an environment where we all work as a family. This might not be the best possible, way of managing teams, or maybe there are new players who are more, knowledgeable. With all due respect to everyone, Qalandars believe in that, and that's what you have saw in the auction. So it has brought us success. It has brought us happiness. It has given fans a happiness. It has given players a happiness. So I don't see any reason for and we believe in that. So there is no point of changing things. Yes, we learn. We always learn, and we try to improve ourselves, but the core remain the same. And the core is that once a Qalandar, always a Qalandar.
I mean, by injuries and unavailability are things that will impact all of the franchises. You've already had a couple of issues in regards to Gudakesh, Motie, and Hussain. Talat has obviously been injured and looks like he's going to be out of the tournament as well. What sort of impact does that have? And do you have like a reserve list in case of so and so player is unavailable, and you have your backup list ready?
Yeah, no, I we got the replacement for Motie, who's a very exciting prospect from Sri Lanka, Villalage. I think I'm very, very excited to have him on board. Obviously, Motie is a loss, but you have to be, it's a, you need to understand this is part and parcel of the game. Injuries happen, unavailability happen. So over the years, what I have learned is that as a management, my role is to quickly look for solutions rather than thinking what can happen if this person would have stayed or would have remained fit. So once it's happened, you move on. You have to look for the next best possible option, and for that you have the whole draft auction list available to you. You can pretty much get anybody. So for Moti, when I was looking for certain options, I think Balalage was a very good option. Actually, his batting is even better than Moti. So I think that was kind of help us to get it right, like for like Hussein. On the other hand, it's a little bit difficult to replace because of his experience. He's a local player, so local player with his experience might not be possible, and we're not going to even try to find his replacement because I believe no one can replace other person. Each individual has their own unique characteristic. Yes, from a role point of view, a batsman who can bowl something all rounder will be looking for, and I think that in this national T20 we have seen few upcoming youngsters, and we have our eyes on them. And but I'm not rushing this decision because we still have 19 player. Two of the players which we are going to take, I have pretty much sorted out who are they. So including them, we have 19. So for Hussain, we're going to take our time to find out that what is the best suited for the remaining 19 players.
Let's talk about Shaheen Afridi, Sameen. He's obviously faced a lot of criticism for the T20 World Cup performances. Obviously, Pakistan have lost to Bangladesh in the ODI series as well, where he was skipper. He's very close to you. He's somebody who has a very good relationship with yourself and Lahore Qalandars. You've invested a lot of time in him. He's your captain. When a player comes to you on the back of some poor form and bad results, what do you say to him? What are the conversations you'll be having with Shaheen ahead of the PSL?
Yeah, last year it was also a bit like same. Unfortunately, Sajbhai, and this is I'm talking purely as a fan, not an owner. I do watch cricket and I do follow cricket and I do follow the performances. But unfortunately, there's a lot of focus around, bashing on players, which in my mind, this is not my style of management. I thick or thin, 5 years first, we were bottom team, but I never ever criticized my player publicly. Yes, within the dressing room, you do have, but what I have seen is that. Uh, Obviously we are emotional, we are very much fans are very connected to this sports, and fan anger is perfectly right. I have no problem with that. The problem is that when we started targeting individuals and we have certain opinion about certain individuals and we think that we are always right, this is where the problem is. And I'm talking about the experts and the the people sitting on YouTubes and all that. So they can do that and they can continue to do that. But they need to understand there is a mental health aspect. And players like Shaheen Afridi or Babar Azam or for matter Rizwan or anybody, you name anybody. Uh, it's not that Shaheen is ours, that's why I'm going to. I'm talking in general about every, premium player which Pakistan has produced. Now, if you're going to downgrade them or you're going to disgrace them, is only going to hurt your cricket because cricket do need heroes, and you live in UK and you understand the challenges they are facing in terms of popularity of cricket, because I do interact with a lot of other countries including Australia, England, UAE, Guyana, Caribbean, and there are challenges. But Pakistan is blessed with having, cricket being number one sports or one sport nation. And even in that sports, if you're going to target individual and tarnish their reputation because of what I don't like or what I like, that's wrong. People need to comment on the performances rather than the individual, you know. And so, you're coming to your question, there's a background. So, coming to your question, when I see that happening, and when these players come to me, so my first and foremost job is to bring that confidence back into them. And it's not an easy thing because 11 months you've been subject to all the hammering and all the criticism, and here come Qalandars who's trying to give you a very nice and rosy environment. But I tell you, they do respond. When you trust someone, when you respect someone, and when you've been honest and fair, then people do respond. So my job become easier because my player trust me and I trust them. So when they come to me, obviously they know this is their family. They know they will be not judged unfairly in this environment. Actually, we don't judge in our environment. We support them. And I think as a player, they have the responsibility to perform, and we trust their responsibility. We trust them. Uh, in our culture, we don't have a headmaster student relationship kind of a culture. I believe in empowering people. I believe in trusting people. And I believe in collective wisdom. It is a way Lahore Qalandar has been managed. And this is what I've been doing for last 10 years. Sometimes you are successful, sometimes you are not successful. So we take good with the bad. So if I'm not, so season 9, when we won one game out of 10. Can you imagine? Like a champion back to back team, season 9, one game out of 10. But trust me, there was not a single finger pointing happening. Actually, some of the players, even the international West Indian player, I can give you the name, Shea Hope, he came to me and he said that, Sameen Bhai, I've never seen such a dressing room environment. And he was praising in a good way because what I felt, what I learned in this, 10 years of journey is that cricket is a stressful environment. So in the ground, the players are under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And the last thing as a management I want to do is to add to their stress. I want to take their stress off so that make them mentally ready to perform up to their skill. But for that, you have to trust your players. You can't be doubting all the time and expecting them to perform. No human can do that in this world. So take an example of Naeem. So last year, the first 6 game when he played, I remember the whole media, social media, they were like criticizing, and I don't mind fans' criticism. Because of the fan we are, so that's absolutely fine. The problem is the experts. So some of the experts were on TV was saying, oh, akhlaq is there, why this idiot is playing now. You're comparing apple with oranges. One of the guys said, oh, इन्होंने नाम भी तो बनाना है ना. Now the whole thing's politicized. What is the relation Naeem has with me other than a part of Qalandar? Nothing. He's not my relative. He's not Shaheen's relative. I don't even know his father. I don't know his brothers. I don't know anybody. But he's a young kid, a talented one, who I think I feel responsible to get best out of him and give him a best opportunity. So we give him 5 matches. He was like 50 odd runs at a strike rate of 100, and everybody was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Look at the poor guy. And I was able to see that. So what I could have done is that fourth game when he got out, I could have shouted at him and I could have said, "Oh shit, what have you done?" This and I didn't do this. All I did, I looked at him and I realized that the guy is actually going under immense pressure, and he is gonna not able to perform if he continue to take that pressure. So how do I release his pressure? You can't do it only with words. So you have to do different techniques you have to adopt. So one of the things which I identified was his fear of failure and getting dropped. So he was thinking in his mind that this is my last chance in my life. So if I get dropped now, end of my career. Imagine if a batter going with this mindset in a ground facing a very high pressure, intense situation, what are the chances he's going to perform? So all I did to him was I told him that, Naeem, I know this is your fear, and I'm going to take you through this fear. I'm going to drop you for one game and only one game. I'm going to ask you to feel sitting outside that nothing will collapse. The sun will rise tomorrow again. But feel sitting outside, this is a game. You started playing because you enjoy it. So what happened to you now? So I give him one game rest and I promised him that next, whatever games we have, you will play. And it worked somehow. So there is no rocket science, but what I'm saying is that it's a techniques. It's all about people management. I don't know why people call it coaching. It's a management. Especially, I'm talking about franchise cricket. Yeah, national cricket, I don't know. But in a franchise cricket, a 40-day tournament, a 45 days tournament, Saad bhai, there's no coaching happening over there. There is, yes, mentoring, yes, mental aspect, yes, creating an environment. But in my 10 years, I haven't seen, I mean, who's going to tell Rashid Khan to bowl leg spinner this way or that way? Who's going to tell Fakhar Zaman to bat like this? I mean, these boys have played more T20s than any of the greats of the game previously who were the greats. So collective wisdom, like look at Sikandar. I mean, he plays leagues all over the world. Yes, you can communicate with them to handle the pressure, to bring them in a best state of mind so they can perform. And that happened with the relationship. So if I don't know you, and I'm trying to tell you how to do things, there are very less chances that you will understand what I'm trying to say. And that is why the theory of family, and that is why the whole bonding throughout the year. So this is the philosophy of LQ.
In a way, though, the fact that Shaheen's getting stick, Sameen Bhai, from the fans and media, Haris Rauf has got a point to prove because he's been getting a lot of criticism. And then you've got the likes of Abdullah Shafique, who are no longer playing international cricket. He's got a point to prove. That works in your favour, doesn't it? Because these guys are coming on the back of criticism, being dropped from international cricket. So the PSL gives them the opportunity to throw that criticism back at the fans and media, doesn't it?
Tell you, Sadhbhai, this is a very good question, and there is a philosophical answer to that as well. Initially, my first few years, I was of the same opinion what you're saying. Because when I pick a player who is out of the team, I see, oh, his guy will be desperate for the success and he will perform and he will give his 200%. But I tell you, the very thought of this is wrong in my mind. Because you don't have, why do you play cricket? Let's go back. Let's take a step back. You play cricket or I play. Why did we play cricket? Same is for Shaheen or Haris. They play for the cricket. They play cricket because at the very core of it, it gives them player satisfaction. Now, when you attach a wrong objective of selecting someone, like somebody wants to make a comeback to a national team, he will be more motivated? No, he will be actually counterproductive to the Qalandars team environment. Because all I care is your 10, 15 runs to the team rather than to yourself. When I don't know if I made it clear or make it more confusing, but uh, for me, if a person is committed to Lahore Qalandar, that's the biggest commitment I need. I don't need his pathway to come back to the international, because that's a wrong objective. Pathway is a byproduct of your performance. You have to perform at every given opportunity to achieve success. And that is how you have played the cricket throughout your career. And that's what have brought you here. So why change now? Why become greedy? If I become highest scorer or highest wicket taker in PSL, I'll get. That's a wrong objective. You need to see what the team needs from you. And that's a team, man. That's Qalandar. And that's what I like about my players.
I mean, by you mentioned Fakhar Zaman. Obviously, there's some injury doubts over him, saying that I think in the press conference, Akid Javed said that he was injured during the T20 World Cup. A little bit of confusion as to whether he should have been taken or not. Putting that aside, Is he going to be fit for the PSL? And what have you heard about his injury?
Well, he got a hamstring, I think a stiff hamstring after the World Cup. So that's what I know. And I've spoken to him. He should be absolutely fine for PSL. I think he got a rehab in NCA now. So I have no doubt or concern regarding Fakhar's injury.
And finally, Sameen Bhai, you're the team to beat. You know, each year you go into the tournament as one of the favourites. You build good squads. You've won three out of the last four tournaments. And even with the new teams coming in and sort of the experience being spread around, you're still amongst one of the teams that are expected to do well. What are your thoughts going into this tournament? Obviously, as I say, you're amongst the favourites. Does that create more pressure, or do the Qalandars enjoy that pressure of being the favourites?
By the way, I honestly speaking, after first few years, I stopped getting worried about the results. I only take care of the process. So whether we win the trophies or we don't win the trophy, my process will not change. We'll continue to do. I give you an example of season 9. So we won season 10, I think, because of season 9. So it's not about the end result. It's I'm accountable for the process. And I'm going to continue to emphasize the process. And this is what I tell my players as well. They have to believe in themselves. They have to believe in their hard work. They need to follow the process. Results are not in our hand. So if we happen to be a winner, great. If we don't, that's fine. It's game of cricket. One will win, one will lose. Yes, of course, I wanted to win, but I don't want it to win at any cost. I wanted to win. If we deserve it, we have followed the process and we give our 100%. And that's yes, we can win. So being a favorite or non-favorite, to be honest, doesn't make any difference, and I don't feel any pressure because I never consider myself as a favorite.
Sameen Bhai, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for your honest thoughts, and continue with the great work you're doing within the Qalandars franchise. And as I say, best of luck for this tournament. You always play a fantastic brand of cricket. And as I said at the introduction, you know, the Qalandars philosophy is one that many teams can follow and, you know, enjoy success like you guys have. So as I say, many thanks for your time and wish you all the best for the
Okay.
future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Zach.